Hello, 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 and the warmest of welcome to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, glad to have you here. Those who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. Hope you enjoy my videos. I put out videos 2 to 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion to slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please do head down, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrating yourself and, of course, celebrating others. So, what are we chatting about today? Before we do that, let me get my bag of the day. Bag of the day is the Mulberry Bayswater. Mine is in the tricolour white, forest green, lawn green, with this beautiful scarf wrapped around the handles. Absolutely love and adore this bag. Silver hardware. I think it's my favourite in my collection. Adore it. Great capacity. Has this gorgeous green interior. Love. Beautiful bag. Goes with so much. So pleased I bought it. Paid about £600 for this, so I got it for a great price at the Bicester Village outlet. Love it. Fabulous bag. So, what are we talking about today? We are talking about the Coach Empire Carryall. Is that the name of it? Yes, I think so. And this has come out fairly recently, and it seems to have taken everybody by storm. You know, it seems to be really, really popular. And it's come out in a range of sizes. I remember I've seen it in a 26. There was a 40, there's a 48. And it seems to be sort of the 40 size that a lot of individuals are settling on. And this is a bag that I think from Coach's perspective was a very, very well played move, because it really leans into the popularity of the Row Margot, but at a very different price point. Do I know that that's what they were trying to do? No, I don't work there. However, from an outsider's perspective, you see this bag that has completely blown up, that everyone's saying, is it the new Birkin? Is it the new hot bag? Is it the new everything kind of bag? And all of a sudden, they've released something that has a very similar aesthetic at a much more reasonable price point. I think they took a cue. I think that they, I think that they saw a moment and they went for it. You know, it has that quiet aesthetic to it. It's capacious. It's got a lot going for it. It's a simple bag aesthetically. They brought it out in, like I said, a few sizes. In the 40, from what I've seen on the Coach UK website, there is it's like a burgundy, sort of brownie burgundy, and then there's also black. And then in the 48, it was the burgundy only. And I think that they, like I said, I think that they've taken a couple of cues here. This is sold out. Now, how massively produced it was, I don't know, but it's certainly sold out on the UK website. I've seen a lot of people buying it. I've seen a lot of influencers with it. And I was tempted for a hot second because, as you know, I love a big bag. I love a bag that's got a lot of capacity. I love a big bag aesthetically. It very much goes with my style. I am someone who likes to pile in loads and loads of stuff. I mean, look, my day bag is, you know, the Bayswaters, the Heritage Bayswaters are quite large bags for sort of being a day-to-day day bag. So I do really enjoy using a larger bag. This is a 37 centimetre base. So I do enjoy that. You just have to look at my shelf. I carry a lot of large totes and things like that. So it's something I'm very comfortable and very familiar with. So I was tempted by this. However, as nice as it is, I am so over how much I feel I have seen the bag already. I feel so overexposed to it that as someone who actually, this would be an ideal first Coach bag for me, I've completely kind of repelled. I'm completely repelled by it now because I have seen it so much. I have seen so many influencers with it. I have seen it unboxed so many times that for me, I just can't think of this bag anymore, and I just can't think of my place with this bag. As you know, if you've watched me sort of a few times, I like to have things that are slightly different from others. I like to try new things. I always say I'm a volume player when it comes to my collections. I like to have lots of options, and you know, this would have been one of my options, but actually I have bags that I feel I don't see as much now that I would rather just continue to have, or that for that price point I would buy. Because like I said, I feel I've seen it too many times. I'm really over it. And I think this is a bag that the influencers will carry for a couple of weeks and then it will never be seen again. Never be seen again. And I also think it's a bag that's going to end up in the bags I regret buying, bags that I don't use, vlog sale videos. I just have that feeling about this one because, you know, I think people will enjoy using it for a short period of time, realize that maybe it doesn't quite work for them in the way that they thought it would, and it'll end up in a vlog sale, because this will have very similar functionalities to anyone who bought a Dior tote and a Dior book tote and sold it, a Fendi Sunshine Shopper and sold it, a GM Neverfull and sold it, you know, any of those really large bags that people loved for a hot second and sold. Now you have some people who are still absolute diehard fans of those bags, in the same way that I'm diehard fan of bags that have been and gone. You still have those individuals, but you have a proportion of people who loved them for a hot second and they were out on their ear really, really quickly. You know, they were in a vlog sale, they feature 5 times every year in a, you know, bags I don't use video or something along those lines. They were hotly, hotly promoted, and then you never see hide nor hair of them again. This, I have a feeling, could be that. Could be that. Because I actually don't think it's the most practical bag in the world. The dome shape doesn't lend itself to that. I think it would be a good sort of large work bag, depending on what you carry. Probably an okay carry-on bag. But again, the dome shape isn't the most practical. It's kind of larger on the exterior than it actually is on the interior. I like the fact that it's got the shoulder strap. I like the fact that it has kind of a closure. Because the bag that, for me, this would be interchangeable with more than anything would probably be an Aspinall of London tote. Now, what it has over on the Aspinall is that it has a closure, because this does not have a closure. But this is actually very practical because of the shape, because it's almost rectangular. So it's actually a very practical shape, and it's quite a tall bag. This can also go over your shoulder. This would probably be what it would compete with the most in my collection. And actually, I think looking at the Coach, I haven't seen it in the flesh, so I'm going on what I can interpret from watching other people's content, plus what I can gather from the website. I'd probably buy this. I'd probably buy this. I think this is more chic looking. I think it's more expensive looking. It's beautifully made. I've owned this for years and I've absolutely loved it. I've got 2. I wish I bought a 3rd last year. I've spoken to you about that. I really regret not buying that pool blue one. I just think it's a fabulous, fabulous bag. The leather's great. Aspinall's a great brand, an underrated brand. You can get great deals on them. And they're not as hyped. They're a little bit different. You can get them in lots of variations. So yeah, the Coach Carryall. I think it's a trend. I think it will die down, and I think it will feature, like I said, in, you know, it'll stop featuring in kind of the promoted content, and I think it will vanish into obscurity. That's just my prediction with that bag. And, you know, does that mean that would I not buy it in case it vanishes? No, I like I said, I've bought bags that you don't hear anything about anymore. They're not really that hotly promoted. They're not, you know, people's favorite thing. I don't need that for it to be in my collection, but I just feel so bored of the content on it and overwhelmed by the content on this bag in such a short space of time. Such a short space of time. When I think about it logically, I've spoken to you about the Aspinall. I own a bag that is basically this bag. My Celine doctor bag. And this is, I don't use this very often. I've spoken about that as well. Does it have all of the same practicalities? No. Again, it doesn't have a zip closure, so it doesn't close. It doesn't have a shoulder strap. So those are 2 key functionalities that people will be desperate for. And I completely understand that. But aesthetically and capacity-wise, very similar bag. very similar bag. And I don't use this as much as I should. I've used it a couple of times recently. It's fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. I love it. I love it. Super understated because it only says Celine on the hardware and it's got a little Celine logo there. So understated. Fantastic, fantastic bag. Underappreciated by me. But again, when I think about, you know, the fact that they've only brought it out so far in the UK in that kind of mahogany burgundy colour or black. I've got the mahogany burgundy covered, and then the black wouldn't entice me all that much because I've got that. That would, you know, be a direct competitor to it for me. So maybe if they brought it out in a beautiful soft grey or a really lovely blue, or, you know, it's not overly interesting to me at the moment. And it was interesting to me initially, and then there was so much content on it that I then took a moment to think about it, and I thought actually it isn't as intriguing to me as I once thought. So it's an interesting one because I hope that whoever's bought it is loving it, and I hope that they're using it, and I hope that they use it into the future. But I just have an inclination that this is a bag that people in 6 months' time are going to say, didn't work out for me. You know, when I think about some of the content I see, I think I can see how that will work. But there are others where I've seen it and I think, feel like we've been down this road before with other pieces. This has a similar use case, functionality, it's similar proportions, etc. And therefore I just don't see how it will work. Time will tell. So there we have it, everyone. Those are my thoughts. Is this going to be the most popular video I've ever posted? Probably not, because, you know, obviously this being a very hyped bag at the moment, people are loving buying it and are loving showing it. So look, let's see. You know, this would have actually been, from a Coach perspective, a great fit with my collection. I'm over it. And I don't really have an interest in chasing down a sold out piece that I'm not really overly inspired by anymore. So thank you so much as always for watching. I look forward to seeing my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Mwah.